Hello everyone. This video is going to be an unboxing of my new Invicta Grand Diver Generation 2 model number 19811. Okay, I first want to say thank you to my wonderful girlfriend. She got me this for Christmas. She got me this watch because, quite frankly, I've always wanted a legitimate diver, not just a dive style watch. And, like after doing some research, I determined that this one I wanted for a multitude of reasons, for which I'll get into. And without further ado, here we go. All right, it comes in this very standard Invicta box, some raised lettering here. It's kind of like a pleatherine type of material that's stitched onto the box. It's a nice basic box. Very nice, very sturdy, big, and yeah. Without further ado, here we are. Now inside the box, I'm gonna try to angle this up. You see the papers, the warranty, the instruction manual, the warranty card, things of that sort. Invicta has an extended warranty. They call it the Platinum warranty, which is for an additional 5 years. I'm not going to be doing anything like that. I just wanted to let you guys know about it. Without further ado, here we are. It comes with this polishing cloth, which is nice, and there's the watch. Okay, so here we are, and this little fob that came on the actual watch at the time as well. It's my girlfriend texting in the background, so sorry if you guys hear that too. All right, here it is. Now, this watch is water resistant to 300 meters. It has the Seiko NH35A movement in it. You can see the signed Invicta yellow rotor, which they are now putting on their automatics to sort of bring all their automatic lines together, make them a little more uniform, which I like. This diver, or this Grand Diver, is different than the previous iteration for a multitude of reasons. One, aesthetics. It no longer has the scalloped bezel. It now has the, as you can see, sort of coined edged bezel. Let me just wipe this here a little bit. There we go. Coined edged bezel. And, it's a lot easier to grab and be able to turn. So you can tell the action on the bezel is fantastic. It's very sturdy, not much play at all, and it lines up perfectly. I love the sound of it as well. It's very authoritative. Makes you realize that it's built with good quality material. The side of the bezel, an aesthetic cue, as you can see, has the number markings. Now that doesn't have any, practical application, as obviously in order to use the timer numbers on the bezel, you have to actually be looking at the hands of the watch. But it's just a cool little cue right there. And you can also see the text Grand Diver right there is of a different font than the Generation 1 model. This one is more block letters, as opposed to the script that the previous generation was. You see the signed crown right there with the iconic Grand Diver scuba diver logo, which is the same that you see on the solid end links. And on the other side of the case, you see Invicta as well, also signed. I like it, especially in this color. It's a little more understated as opposed to the polished stainless steel model. It's a little more pronounced. But since this is the PVD coated model, it's a little more, it's a little more understated, which I actually appreciate. No drugged lugs, okay, but that's no problem since the solid end links, as well as the bracelet, really just, they go with the watch. So I'm not looking to replace the bracelet at all. It's a big watch. As you can tell, it's not thin. It is heavy. But I actually like that. My if I'm going to be wearing a dive watch, I want it to have some heft to it. I don't want it to feel, you know, like it's gone on my wrist. I want to feel it. I want to feel the heft, which is why I've never really been that big of a fan of Invictas, but this one, it just seems so iconically different from normal dive watches that to me it just stands out and alone really. The bracelet is of very high quality. I actually really like it. The links are solid as well as the solid end links. As you can tell, the side links are brushed, whilst the middle links are polished. Let me get my fingerprints off there. Maybe you can see that a little better. There we are. Which is really cool because in the sunlight, especially, the solid sort of looks like a cobalt or a coal or an anthracite. That's how smooth the polishing technique is on this bracelet. It has a obviously the fold over clasp. No dual button deployment, but you simply just pull back on it, and as you can see, the clasp is machined. It's not stamped, which is good because obviously that's of higher quality than say stamped steel. As you can see, the clasp is signed with the Invicta logo. You have micro adjusters on the sides. I've already sized this bracelet, and the sides of the links are polished, as you can see. Okay, now inside this watch is like I said, Seiko NH35A movement, which comes with the date complication there at around 4:30. And obviously the hour luminous markers. The hands are a bit small, but I'll show you in a moment, why they have to be. As you can see, this watch is quite thick. All right, and the reason why is because let me see if I can get in closer here. You can actually see that the hour markers are raised quite a bit. And the really cool design cues here, at the 3 o'clock position, you can see 3. At the 6 o'clock position, let me see if I can maneuver this. You see 6. And at the 9 o'clock position, you see 9. Now, that's just something really cool that the person who wears it can appreciate. The second hand is small, but once again, looking at the top, it looks like everything is just on the dial, but obviously the markers are raised. So in order to not have the second hand hit the marker, it has to be smaller, which is fine because you can still read the time very easily. Obviously, it's 2:05 right now on December 26th, 2015. I also really love the color scheme, black and blue. In the sunlight, the blue kind of turns a purplish. There's a sunburst sort of effect on the dial. Invicta is obviously in that blue purplish color, as well as the second hand and the scuba diver logo, as well as the bordering of the 12, 3, 6, 9 hour markers, and also on the sides of every other hour marker as well. The entire color scheme, and also on the side of the bezel, the entire color scheme comes together quite well, in my opinion. I really like it. Now, the lume is not quite on par with, say, a Seiko Monster or anything like that, but it's more than sufficient. I woke up this morning with this on my dresser. It was pitch black, and I opened my eyes and I was able to read the time. It wasn't glowing like a torch, but I could still read the time. The lume is more than sufficient. Obviously, there's a lume pip right here at 12. The numbers are not loomed, but the lume pip at 12 is, in fact, loomed. Okay. Let's see. With the movement, you get about 41 hours power reserve. Obviously, it's moving at 21,600 beats per hour, which is a medium beat. it's an automatic, so you see the second hand sweep. The great thing about that low to medium beat that this movement has is that it's not going to need to be serviced for quite a while, which is obviously of high importance when you're talking about these mid-tier divers, because honestly, the servicing cost is going to be pretty much on par for what you actually buy this piece for. This piece was purchased by my girlfriend for around, I want to say, $120, which is pretty darn good when you're considering everything that you're getting with it. You're getting an accurate Seiko movement. You're getting the big beefy case, the high quality bezel, screw down crown with the it's sort of a knurling edge as opposed to the typical coined edge like this that most crowns are. Yeah, no, I really like the aesthetics of this watch. Now let's see here. The movement is hacking as well as hand winding. That's out to the first position where the hand winding function is. Let's see if you can hear it. It's actually quite quiet. The reason why that is because the case is so beefy that it insulates a lot of the sound. That's the hand winding. This position out here, the next position out, is for the date. Oh, actually, no. Yeah. Next position out is for the date. Right now, it's at the date function. And the last position is the second hand hack, as you can clearly see right there. Okay? And then in order to screw it back, you just simply line up the threads and then just screw down the crown. Very easy. 300 meters water resistance. This is a very, very nice piece in my opinion. Now let me give you a quick wrist shot. And there we are. Now I have pretty medium-sized wrists. They're not huge or really thick. They're not thin. So I had to take out 3 links and then micro adjust it in order for it to get the perfect fit. But once you do, as you can see, the side profile, it is big. Okay, so be wary of that if you wear like cuffed shirts, like suits and things of that sort. Just be wary of that. But for me, I'm not going to be wearing this with any suits. This is more like a casual watch for me, or something if I'm going to be active and it's going to be a beater watch. That's what it's going to be, and it's going to be able to handle that no matter what, in terms of water resistance as well as heft and really just the build materials. It's going to be able to handle anything I throw at it. So yeah, once again, thank you so much to my fantastic girlfriend for getting me this beautiful piece. And yeah, everybody, I hope you all had a great holiday. And yeah, just feel free to like and or comment below. And hope everybody has a great holiday and a happy new year. All right, thanks guys. Bye.